Alright, welcome everybody back to LEGOthon. I'm Los, you saw me before. My co-partner is Paxo. You introduce yourself real quick.
Hi, I'm CaptainPaxo. You saw part of me before my internet died, but I think we should be good for this one.
Let's hope so.
Hopefully, anyway. Yep.
So yeah, we will be running Lord of the Rings any % no cut, and since this is the first no cut run of the marathon, take a quick moment to explain what no cut actually is. So no cut is a cheat code that the developers left in almost every LEGO game, or like new LEGO game, starting from LEGO Indiana Jones 2 on forward, and basically allows you to skip cutscenes on your first playthrough. So for most games you can't skip cutscenes when you're first playing through it, but with no cut we can actually play any %, which used to have cutscenes all the time, and now we can play it without cutscene, which makes the run a lot quicker. For example, this game has an hour of cutscenes, I think.
Yeah, about an hour.
Yeah, for reference, with cutscene word record is a little bit over 2 hours, and without cutscenes word record is a little bit under 1 hour. So you can see like there's a really big difference there. But I think that's about it, and the rest I guess we'll explain once we're there, or once we're in the levels.
Yep, let's do it.
Alright. So give a quick countdown when you should start. So let's start in. Wait. So 3, 2, 1, go. As you can see, we can skip the cutscenes now. So yeah, Pax, you wanna talk a bit about this first stage? Or first level?
So this first part of the game is pretty simple to start with. We have to kill all the orcs with a target on their back. It's much better for Loz to do that, because the character he's using, when he does a jump attack, it does 3 points of damage, rather than a regular attack which does 1 point of damage. So he takes out these enemies, and then we have some enemies with shields which arrive. And similar idea, as we're doing co-op, I break the shields, and then Loz does the jump attack, so we kill them.
I also tried to kill Paxo here, so he loses some stats, because this is a game, when you saw the 5-7 run, you saw that they collected stats because they need to buy something. It's not the case here. Actually having stats loses time at the end of this level. So we're trying to, when we have time, get the other player to 0 hearts, so we actually lose some stats.
Yep, that saves about 15 seconds on the menu screen, so with the time that it takes to do it normally, it's about 10 seconds you save each time.
So we drop out Paxo.
Yep. And we have our first skip of the game. This is hopefully going to work. It's called Sauron Skip. It's one of the new developments. It's been found this year by Loz and LavaFang. I think this one was found by you.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's actually found like at 1 AM, just like randomly trying stuff.
That was 1 AM in the call with I think me and Origin of Chaos as well.
Okay, so you can see some stones here. I use this stone here to line myself up. Then I change VSync to 30 Hz. Do a roll, wait until I'm in the right animation, and then change VSync back. Wait a bit so the FPS spikes up. And then I'm doing 12 pause flies forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then I'm looking at the Isildur icon on top. Once it touches the background, I actually know I'm at the correct position, and I skip the whole fight. This went way better than expected. Like
Yeah,
this is
definitely. We were discussing it before the run, kind of should we go for it, should we not? But solid first try, we'll take that.
yeah.
So there was kind of quite a lot to unpack there. So the first thing
Yeah.
he did was a VSync launch. So what we do is we
Try to get
manually
to
set
0
our...
stats, Paxo, by the way.
Good point. So we manually set our FPS lower by turning VSync on to 30 Hz, which in this case does turn it to 30 Hz. And from there, we do a roll like this. And in the rolling animation, the game going up a slope, the game pushes you upwards. If you change your FPS so it goes higher, then that effect is multiplied and you can do a launch, which is what's just happened here. And that's a nice, easy way of getting into Mount Doom.
Should be. Okay, go for it.
Nice.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
a 415 RTA, Paxo.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, and also the second thing that was done in the Sauron skip was called pause flying, which is when you have really high FPS, we're talking kind of over 1,000. If you spam the pause button as you're falling, your fall like stops. It gets reset to 0.
Yeah, like your
Your
falling speed.
falling speed, yeah. And that means you can effectively hover in the air for a long amount of time, which is very nice. And it's able to make these setups where we hit out of bounds doors left in by the developers as kind of, I guess, fail safes in case something goes wrong in the level.
I actually
Yeah,
think
we're able to hit.
it's just because like they act as like normal transition, so they have to be stored somewhere on the map. So they just
Okay.
yeah place it out of bounds with the
Yeah.
intention that yeah you can't reach them. But jokes on them, we can reach them.
We're speedrunners, of course we can reach it. Yeah, so far we found the only true way to stop speedrunners of LEGO games is to put doors below the map, at least in the LEGO Middle-earth games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, height is fine, distance is fine.
Here's another VSync launch we're doing. So this is like a stealth section, and we're breaking out of this stealth section by going to the back side here. So how this like is supposed to be done is you have to grab rocks and throw it so the moonlight goes away, so the Black Rider, or to distract the Black Rider and stuff like that. And it's slow, of course, and the good thing is we can actually launch our way to the path where the Black Rider is supposed to be and go all the way to the end. And at some point we can actually start running again, and then by chaining attacks and double jumps I can like keep on with the normal jumping speed.
Right.
Do the Frodo.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Actually, not having Frodo out of bounds loses quite a bit.
There we go. Yeah, so Frodo has a quicker speed out of bounds because you're able to roll and then follow it up with an attack. And that moves Frodo a little bit further forward, so it saves a tiny bit of time over just regular rolling that you could do with the other characters.
The other thing is, you see, we're here in split sections, so I'm playing with Gandalf, and there are quite a few of those actually in the game. And how they work is you're supposed to finish one section and then it spawns in an item for the other section. So by finishing the Gandalf section, we're spawning in, I want to say like a hive of bees, but I'm not entirely sure anymore.
No, you spawn in a bird and an apple, which you then use the apple to hit the bird, and that's the final distraction for
Okay.
Black Rider.
Yeah, and then you can continue with the Hobbit section. But since we can break out of the stealth section, we can go around all that and hit another trigger at the end.
Yeah, I should say that level has gone through an insane amount of change over the past few years. That started off as like a 6-minute individual levels time, I think, and is now down to about 2.
Do you guys mind if I get a quick donation in real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Sure, go
We
ahead.
have a $100 donation from E Roadhouse with the comment, "Holy moly, we're popping off right now, boys." And yes, we are. Thank you for the biggest donation of the event so far.
Thanks, Herodas. So here is actually, for like casual, this is amazing because it's a really nice section how they teach you all about like the fetch quests and stuff. But as speedrunners, it's kind of boring. You have to talk to this guy, then go into a building, make an object and give the object back. And it just loses time. But it's a good thing, like how they showed it off, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. They showed it off really well, because otherwise you'd never think to go to this area for the blacksmith and craft blueprints. The only problem with this section, especially when you do it one player, is there's a high chance of crashing on PC. But using 2 players, we've, I think, been able to find the setup, hopefully. That means we don't crash when I enter the door.
Yeah, it's really important that you have actually Sam as your second player.
Yeah.
At least, if I have Sam, it never crashes for me. Knock on wood.
This is good. It's gonna happen now. We've cursed it. It's going to happen.
I said it a couple of times already, or explained it. It never happened.
Also, shout outs to the massive texture glitch we have at the moment for our head-up display. That's very cool. That sometimes happens. We're not sure what causes it.
No idea. If you go in, okay.
Yay, no crash.
And you can still see the whole display is like messed up. Like the characters' icons are not there, or where they should be. It will fix itself, I think, in the last room of the next level. Somewhere there, at one point it fixed itself. I have no idea when exactly.
I don't know. I remember it used to be fixed when we reset at the end of Weathertop, which is this level. But because we're doing, yeah, we used to reset to skip cutscenes, but because we have the no-cut code activated, we don't need to skip cutscenes. So we might be stuck with this for the entire time. You never know.
Okay, so one thing is Pax and I, we have different 1p2cs we're doing here. So this is gonna be a 1p2c, like basically improvising it every time, how we're doing it.
Yep.
But as long as you keep both players like active and doing stuff, it actually shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. So if I grab the wood. Oh no, I go do the egg, don't I? Yeah.
No, you go, because I need to plant this anyway. Might need to throw down the wood again. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, should be good. No, they spawned again. Okay, got it.
There we go. Oh, that was way too early, wasn't it?
No,
Oh well.
don't worry. I was kind of afraid it fell off the edge there.
Yeah.
This build is notoriously bad when you can start it.
Yeah, because the pieces tend to fall off the edge and despawn. Almost got the yellow bridge skip.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So here you see another like really nice thing. As soon as you like do a double jump and then an attack, you can actually get like a lot more distance than intended. And here what I'm, wow, that was pretty nice height. So instead of doing all the left side of the level, there's like a small part a small part in the ceiling where there's no dev plane, which you can actually use to launch away all the way to the top. It's gonna be like a reoccurring theme that you see us launch out of bounds and hitting triggers. Which
Yeah,
makes
we
it
don't
really
do much of what's
technical.
intended. Yeah.
So you might think it's like, oh okay, everywhere is like an out of bounds trigger. It's easy, you're just gonna hit it every time, but they're like really small, so they're half a game unit wide. I'm gonna miss that one. Go for this one first. So yeah, they're really small. So you have like only a leeway of like 2 characters wide to hit them, and they're in completely random spots. So how we like try to hit them is with finding setups so that our X and C coordinates are always the same when we launch upwards, and then we pause buffer actually to move a certain amount of distance away. So if you can pause buffer consistently, you know one pause buffer moves you, let's say 0.3 units in one direction. I'm gonna build the thing.
Yep. I'll go grab the torches. Oh, stole your nest.
Here's all mine. So it's already the third level down.
Yep.
So the next section is gonna be we're going to Rivendell and then to the passive carriers. And this used to be really bad in like normal percent or original percent because there are like 3 cutscenes in a row. So there's
Yes. Yeah, you have the one here, and then one once you get into Rivendell, and then another one while you're moving about in Rivendell.
So what you can see of N0CUT, it's actually really nice. You can just keep on going. Like the run flows extremely nicely now. You don't have to do any resets anymore.
Yeah, it's so much smoother.
And it became really fast paced.
Yeah.
I got up.
Oh no, I was in the wrong place.
So as soon as scatters start, you can see another like kind of technique. Paxo already explained it with like the pause flying, but you can see it to a really big extent there. And you see why this game is as broken and as short as it is. Because it actually turns out that pausing is faster for the game in some way. First you have to get there.
Yeah, we have to slow down to go faster.
Yeah. It's also important that you wait here actually until the rocks stop moving, else you're gonna die. And we're gonna have a close race here between Paxo as Legolas and me as Frodo. Legolas currently in the lead.
How?
Well, if you get down to 0 hearts, I'm gonna win. So also, if you're wondering how you can play co-op, like I'm from Switzerland, Paxo is from UK, so basically playing co-op over Steam Remote Play, which is really nice. It gives the person that's not hosting some input delay, but if you're not too far apart of each other, it works out.
Yeah, it's pretty good, to be fair, I think.
So we can use, you see this rock actually has a slope on it, and we can launch all the way to the top. I think, yeah, the music despawned. I think it should be high enough. And now we're flying to the end of the level. And you can see now the pause buffering in full effect. Like, I'm almost off the screen, but every time I pause, it resets my height. And we actually use this to fly over everything. Like this section, normally, or we used to do this section with Legolas and Gimli. Those are the only characters actually needed in this section. But with this flying and launching, you can actually finish the whole section with Legolas only. So you might be wondering how this works, because at the end you actually have to destroy a rock. Ah, got it. But
Nice.
back here there's another out of bounds trigger. It's a pretty easy one to hit. You go to the edge of
Nice.
the path there, and then you can hit it first try, basically. Whoa, that was a high launch.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
So Loz was doing another type of launch there, where you do the same thing. It's basically, it's like a VSync launch, but not as much, in
Yeah.
the sense that you're only using the FPS change from playing in-game to the pause menu, which is still a jump of a few hundred.
Actually 1,000 in my case. Like I'm
Oh.
running at 230 in this section. In the pause menu, a little bit over 1000 FPS. Another thing about this boss fight, the Watcher boss fight, this is actually one of the only instances of RNG in this game. So basically, the boss has two attacks. Either he swoops across the screen, or he attacks you directly. And you want to have that he attacks you like this, because else you can't deal damage to him. So it's pretty common to actually get 0 or 1 cycle.
Yeah, we've already had one,
Yeah,
so
and also Legolas, Boromir and they had a good time together.
they just become one for a
Yeah.
bit. That was cool.
So this was a 1 cycle, which is, like I said, pretty normal. I want to say, like, how much does it lose? Like 20-ish seconds to get bad cycle?
I think it's 10 per
10,
cycle.
okay.
Can I read a donation real
Sure.
quick? We have
Pick me
a
up.
$5 donation from Origin of Chaos that says, "Shout out to the people who broke this game to its core. Good luck to the current and all future runners." Thank you for the $5 donation, Origin.
Thanks, Arjun.
Thanks, Origin. Yeah, big shout out to the people who broke this game. One of them is doing this run right now, and the other one is Lava Fang. Both of them, kind of the start of this year, launched Project LL, I think he called it, which basically found, I think, every single out of bounds door in this game. And since then, it's been down to finding all sorts of setups for them, which Loz has been putting in insane work for.
Sadly,
yeah,
like
without-
the setups are, as of right now, only viable if you can pause fly. So no pause fly setups have been found yet. Also, by the way, drop out immediately, Paxo, so you can be Gandalf in the next section.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty big skip, actually here. So this section and the next section are actually in the same room. They're just like on the other side of the room. Like the room just switches around 180 degree. And there's also an out of bounds trigger, which is the first out of bounds trigger I found a setup for. So it has like kind of a sweet spot in my heart. And oh damn it. It skips like a 4-minute part, I wanna say, or even more.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Originally, when you were doing it from the first room, or sorry, from the second room,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was saving about 3 minutes, and this is probably an extra minute on top.
If I can
So,
get it.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
even if we're here for a while,
Yeah.
you're probably still going to be saving some time at least.
Okay, so I need to
No.
do another one. Didn't get all the way out of bounds.
So this is the second room, what you're seeing on your left, and there it goes.
So now I'm completely out of bounds. So how this setup works is I'm gonna pan my camera upwards and then I fall off a ledge and give a good respawn. Fall off this ledge I just jumped through. And I will pause fly 8 times upwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I wait until the skeleton on the top of the screen are not on screen anymore. And if I get it all correct, it should allow me to skip the whole section here. But you can see sometimes even the pause flies, they don't work. So they're FPS dependent. And I should get this eventually. This would have been this would have worked. Let's try it. Like this.
Nice.
And because we skipped the second room actually, there's another glitch that's working right now, and that's like a character lock. So normally not supposed to play with Gandalf here, but we kind of never unlocked him. So he's still playable now and is a lot quicker to kill all the enemies. The downside of this is you can't switch off of Gandalf now anymore. Actually, I'm going to save a little bit away so you don't grab me. Yeah.
Like that.
Actually, let's do it like this. So you don't have a small guy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a mechanic, like the big guys, rotation mods, can pick up the small guys. So like the dwarves and hobbits, they can be picked up from men and wizards and elves. And this is also can be used actually to launch all the way to the like really high actually.
That's such a weird glitch.
That's such a, like it only happens in this room.
Yeah. Normally Gandalf's completely inactive until you can switch to him in this next section. But I guess we broke the game so much that it bypassed the trigger for like making that command or something. I don't know.
Basically, I think they lock you out from actually using Gandalf in the second part of the first room, but because we're actually skipping that part, we're also skipping like the lock that's happening. I messed up the character's wheel here. Basically, this part of the level is you gather some like items. So you have to clear the fire first, grab like a handle, and push the minecart in there. And this opens the door. And the transition for this door, it's known where it is, it's right inside the door. And we can't clip in this game. So we can't go in there. It would be a really nice time save to have. So we can just jump into it, yeah. Got it.
Nice.
One drop out.
Am I not doing barrel skip, or are you?
You're doing the barrel skip.
Okay.
So here's barrel skip. This is another section, like a split screen section that you saw in Black Rider as well. This might work. So you have to kill the Balrog here, and it spawns a plate where you can then destroy with a Gimli throw up there. But the transition is actually, yeah, right behind the door. It's still active.
Nice.
and we can just launch our way over it and hit it. This was like a glitch or something known for quite a long time, but it was before we found VSync launches, where you had to do pickup launches, and it was so inconsistent. It was like, oh yeah, there will never be like a run with Balrog skip in it, and now we're here. You want to do everything here and I drop in the next level?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Balrog skip initially was a massive meme in the community, because it was just so unlikely to ever be done in the run.
Yeah, you had to
Before-
have something between you and the other person to do a pickup launch. I think it was done with like a stone apple which was rolling around at the ground. And it was like a really big pain to actually get the stone to the correct, or the apple to the correct position. And even then it wasn't working properly.
Yep. It is definitely a lot better now. So, on the right side of your screen, Lars is now going to do another VSync launch and some out of bounds movements.
I'll wait until you're actually in the
Yep.
thingy.
Yep. My side of the screen, we're going to have a new kind of tack now. So, what there is, as I go through this hatch, there is a pillar at the top, which normally in LEGO games, you have objects which you can push. But in this game, if I roll up against it, then I instantly get a jump. And I use that jump to make it onto the stairs, and then instead of having to like distract Boromir to move him all the way up, we just skip straight past Boromir and go to the end.
Also, if you're curious, this is done like this also in RTA solo runs. So you do this like out of bounds movement I'm doing right now, while you're doing everything else with Frodo on the left side. And
Yeah.
you don't want to pop back inbounds, of course. And it's quite something to wrap your head around, actually.
It's probably the most challenging piece of 1P2C in this
Yeah.
game.
Because
Much
the camera
nicer in co-op.
shifts once you're close to being inbounds. So, like most of the time, it actually will be going right, left camera, because there's only a small path we can actually walk on. So we don't want to be too far out of bounds, else you fall through the map and have to do everything again. And going too far or too close to the barrier for inbounds leads to risk to actually clipping back inbounds. And also in this section, getting soft locked quite a lot. Because you can get stuck at many things.
Do you mind if I sneak in a donation real quick?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Alright, so we have a $10 donation from Frost that says, "This is how a game looks if you glitch on too much." Is it? Thanks for the donation, Frost.
Yeah, thanks, Frost. I destroyed the thing. You can target the left side.
Yep.
This game, particularly, I think, is like a really great game for doing co-op runs. Because there's so many sections that you actually have like to kill enemies or do stuff. And of course you can do all of that with like one player only and do 1P2C. But actually don't have to worry about killing the guys down here and also fighting on the top right side. It's pretty nice. You're gonna drop out?
Oh yeah.
You're not supposed to do that.
I forgot you go for the skip.
This is another setup I found, so it's gonna launch upwards here. So line yourself up with the door. This won't work because of VSync. So line yourself up with the right side of the door. Then you should have always the right coordinates. So once you launch upwards here, and you start falling, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This should put me pretty close to the actual trigger, so I'm gonna use visual cues now. might have overshot it. Oh no. Okay.
No, nice.
And
I
this
think that was one of the latest triggers you found, or found the setup for anyway.
there was like the latest one was Sauron. And this one is, oh no, actually not even sure. Maybe it was Dead Marshes. Yeah, it was Dead Marshes.
Yeah.
But this is especially a good one. It skips a lot, like really a lot.
Yeah. This is one of the final pieces of the puzzle on the way to getting this game sub 1 hour.
Yeah.
Which is...
Am I moving the right direction? Yeah.
Yep.
And Pax's favorite level because he doesn't have to do anything in this level.
I like this level. This one's great. Have fun.
So here's Fish Skip. This was the first like out of bounds trigger we actually like found in this game, and also were able to hit RTA. And it became notorious for being bad because most runners weren't able to pause fly.
Yep.
Or launch that high here, like this. And hitting this trigger while falling down at full speed is like really bad. And
Like that.
yeah, basically like this. The thing is, because we're playing co-op, my FPS are lower than they usually are in any percent runs. So there might, I'm not sure if I actually explained that already, but I will say it again anyways. So there might be some instance where I can't pause fly properly anymore. Let's do this setup. Should work, okay.
Right.
Just the first trigger. This one skips a really big section.
That first trigger saves about 3 to 4 minutes again. This one doesn't save as much. It's probably only a minute or so, which is, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty much a minute.
But
So
yeah,
it's
when you consider
1,
that.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3. And now I'm lining up the option menu in the back with the wall at the background. So once the NEN at the end of options are past a certain line at the wall, like right here, I'm pressing forward and I try to move like frame by frame forward to hit actually the
Nice.
trigger. And now we're in the second movie. Like, this was the first level of the second movie, and the second movie actually introduces something kind of important for this run, and that's the paths. Like, you have two different paths. You have the Hobbit path and the path of Aragorn. And we're only doing the Hobbit path here. So, and we'll explain that once we're at the Skilliath, why that's the case. Also remember to drop in Paxo.
Yep. Nice.
So we're skipping past certain triggers here. So you see the fires going off sometimes. And you're supposed to use a bucket to extinguish the fires. But by doing double jump and attacks, you can actually get past them and skip like quite a lot of the level. I actually never played this level normally. But I can imagine how like the rest of the level is, how painful it would be. Bad.
Yep.
And this is Dead Marshes Fly. So you remember maybe Cardra's Flight. Actually want to use it. This one is like his big brother.
Yeah, so as Loz was saying, with the levels, in the second and third movie, you can choose some of the levels which you play first. So there's 6 levels in each movie. For movie 1, you have to do them all in order. But for movie 2, you have the option, so we could have played this level, or we could go and follow Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas as they do their side of the story in the films. which is like the Battle of Helm's Deep, Aragorn falling into the. I'm using a lot of spoilers here. I think it's fine. It's been out long enough. But instead, so we're doing Dead Marshes here, and then the next level we're going to be basically skipping the Aragorn side of the story, and we do that because the trigger for the last level of the films, or the last level of this film, is placed in the overworld, in Osgiliath, but it's surrounded by the Eye of Sauron, which is meant to stop players from entering normally. However, we have the advantage that we can gain an insane amount of height.
Also, by the way, don't drop in here. I'm going for the next trigger as well.
Cool, that makes my life easy.
So, like, this trigger is actually one of the easiest one to hit. This one was hit without any setup. Like, like first, I think it was first or second try. Like, Lau and I were glitch hunting this video or this game, and he was like, I think this can be hit without a setup or anything. And surely he did. Let's see. Fallen too much probably. Yeah. So this one only saves like 30 seconds if it's done first try. But since it's like a marathon setting, I like to show it off. Okay, this looks better.
I think you got enough height.
Barely. Yeah, another downside, like launches are great, but you can actually lose quite a bit of time if you launch too high.
Nice.
Yeah, you see it's like really close here. We actually start the launch, which is why it might be possible to hit, like without a proper setup, flying setup.
That's how it was hit first time.
Yeah. I
Right,
think it
so
was.
as I said, we now complete Dead Marshes. Why did I drop in there?
I can come join you in my adventure.
Yeah. Yep, so we now completed Dead Marshes, and the game wants you to go to Aragorn's side of the story now.
And this would be like Hobbits, Helm's Deep, and Warg-Attack. Those are 3 levels. I'm not entirely sure about like which one's gonna be the first one you should do. I think it's like probably Hobbits, Warg-Attack, and then going for Paxo. You're alright. I think Paxo just dropped. Paxo, can you hear me?
Let's track Hobbits first.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Controls are happening.
Ah, okay. I can't switch, skip the cuts in Paxo. Can you? Well, it turns out we're gonna watch this cutscene because I think Paxo needs to activate. Paxo needs to activate the cutscene trigger here, or the cutscene skip. So we're watching this cutscene. Looks like. Show some German. Oh, now I can't switch it. Funny. I'm not sure if Paxo is back or not. I'm just gonna continue, and if he can confirm that he's good, I'm gonna re-invite him. Basically, we're gonna launch all the way here. This launch is actually not faster to do, but it's way easier. CaptainPaxo would have done the OG way, which is still the fastest way. I'm not good at it, so I don't try to go for it.
Am I back?
I can hear you again.
Hey. I don't know what happened there.
Should I
Am I
invite you real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me actually do this first. I'm gonna re-invite you. You're not online for me.
Oh, great. Thanks, Dean.
Okay, I can finish off this level and then
Yeah.
quickly do a reconnect. So here we're gonna do an end launch, which is basically another thing that was known to be possible, not with the way we're doing it. Basically, you have to go close to the fire, and what this does is when you're close to the fire, the ant starts walking backwards, and by doing so he walks into like a tree kinda, and it pushes him all the way to the top. It's like, if you're familiar with other games, it's like a proxy, so both hitbox overlap, and then you just launch upwards. And you can also see that pause flying with ants is really, really broken.
Yeah. I wish there were more end sections. If we could do that more often, because
Well,
it's actually not too bad to get the height anyway.
No, once you get the high, like basically you would do a whole like circle around this area. And with that we actually completed movie, like the second movie.
Yep.
And now it's on to the third movie, which you also skipped some levels. So you might want to explain how we skipped those level packs.
Okay, yeah, so because we didn't move the Eye of Sauron to get into Osgiliath, normally you'd move it to, or normally it would move to somewhere else. That means that the Eye of Sauron is out of the way, so we can then access the...
I re-invite you, by the way.
Yep, got it.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we can then access the next level, so we don't need to we don't need to go into Cirith Ungol or Secret Stairs, which are the two levels you're meant to do with Sam and Frodo. Instead, we just do the Aragorn and Legolas side of things this time.
You're gonna warp to the marshes, yep.
But also what I'm going to do here is set up some better movement for later. So I warp to Dead Marshes, and I'm going to walk to the Black Gate, the gates into Mordor. And the reason for that is there is a map stone here. And map stones are your way of teleporting around the overworld.
It's like fast travel in other games.
Yeah.
So because I need to go... go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, by walking by the map stone, that means it's activated on the map, which means when we get to the level, the Black Gate, which will be in after the next 2 levels, yeah, 3 levels time, we can warp straight to that map stone, which saves a lot of walking.
Up next is probably my favorite level. Like, this level done properly feels really rewarding. Like, especially the first part here.
Yeah.
I think it just like flows really well with the characters you need and with 1P2C you can do.
Yeah, actually I'd agree with that.
Sorry. Go on top and die, grab Legolas.
Yep. So yeah, character management is very important in this level. We also take sometimes kind of specific lines, because the characters that you aren't controlling can sometimes get caught on things. And obviously, if that happens, you're going to lose time backtracking to try and get them.
Yeah, like those fountain thingies at the ground. Once you walk in those with Legolas or Gimli, what actually happens is that they get stuck to ghosts, and you need to spam or die. And actually, Argon can defeat them because he has now like the real sword. And it's just like a mess if you don't get it correctly. Also, we need both characters up here. We need not Gandalf. We need Gimli and Argon here. You want to do the launch here?
I cannot remember where you do it from. Is it just the
Just
palm
do it normal way. Then.
Okay. I'll do my normal strat then, which is a jump up to the side here. And then break that axe plate and go into the hatch.
There's also a launch you can do on the bottom left side here, but it's really close to actually like one of those traps I mentioned earlier. So if you get unlucky, you get like caught in it. Drop out.
Yep. And this boss fight used to be really annoying because there was a chance of soft locking, which is very cool when you're well, at the time it was 2 hours into an any % run. Now, however, this happens.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm trying to line up the E from Middle Earth, like Middle Earth in German is Mittelerde, the specific like texture at the wall, like right there. Then I only have to press up, and I should hit the trigger.
Nice.
And if you're wondering why I'm doing all the out of bounds trigger, it's because Paxo on his PC can't do like pause flies. So he could practice them like over Parsec to stream remote play on my PC. But instead of doing like this, I know all the setups already and like basically decided I'm gonna go for them. And you want to do them one player only anyway, because of all the setups. They're not like 2-player setups, like split screen setups. So it's the easiest for him to just drop out.
And also, one player can give slightly higher FPS, so your launches and your pause flies can be a bit better or more consistent.
Also, this just an auto scroll, you can't do anything here, so take something to drink, like take a sip of water, stay hydrated, grab some snack, something. This is like a minute of just riding here.
It's very cinematic though.
It is, with good music. Can try to collect stats and stuff, but it's like nothing really to do here. Try to grab the mini kit, purple stat here.
We should say normally grabbing the mini kit would lose time. However, you have to grab one mini kit in this level, which is right here.
This one is forced.
Yep, completely unavoidable to grab that. And grabbing one mini kit takes the same length of time as grabbing 9 on the menu screen, so it doesn't matter.
Also, like a strat that Paxo now uses is he's getting like his character wheel up, and what this does is actually provides you from taking any damage.
I can use the character wheel like this,
Yeah.
or I can use the item wheel as well.
The item wheel you don't have access to in story, I want to say.
No.
You
have access.
You can't use the mithril items though.
No.
Yeah.
You don't have the treasure trove,
Yeah.
but yeah. So you can use either of these. You can do the same in Harry Potter Years 5 through 7, but I don't think you could do the same in later games like Lego The Hobbit.
And an additional thing you might have seen if you were here as well for the Lego Batman race is that you can take damage while you're building. I don't think this is the case in this game.
Nope.
Yeah, so
Not
you
in
can.
any 2.0 engine games. I
Yeah.
think they fixed that because it was so annoying casually.
It's really annoying casually, but it kind of makes sense. Like, just
Yeah.
try like building some Lego pieces. Somebody comes and punches you, and you just continue with it.
Yeah, you're gonna get a bit distracted.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit. So this level is basically an auto-scroller until all the way to the end, where it is kind of an auto-scroller, where you have to do stuff, but it's like kind of like in cycles you do stuff there.
Yeah, the last section of this level feels very fun to complete, like one player or just with good communication.
Yeah.
Which I hope you have. Nice, so we cut off the head of the Nazgul.
I'm going down and lure him over. You're gonna build? Okay.
Yep.
So by stepping on this plate here, I can lure Nazgul over to me. Then I'm gonna step away.
Yep, I can distract the Nazgul. And then I don't need to be standing on the plate for the whole animation. Once he's done his scream, you're free to move off.
I'm grabbing this
And then
purple
hit.
here because I can. Push Paxo off.
Oh, thanks. And then
I need to
last
position
sentence
myself.
run.
Yeah.
Like so. Oh, right in the middle of the circle.
Oh,
Nice.
perfect. And we kill the Witch King.
Nice.
And here's the last section we were mentioning before.
Yep.
So Paxo has to shoot arrows into the legs there, and I have to use my sword to break those Morgul bricks, which can only break Aragon, or I think Isildur can as well.
Yeah, it's the sword
It's
that's
the sword,
important.
yeah.
Oh, I need to do this thing.
Yeah.
There we go.
And the camera might glitch out here a little bit.
Just a bit.
Yeah, just a bit. And this was like the first wave. The second one will be 2 elephants with Aragon has to deal with and 1 with Legolas. And if we're lucky, we're getting a glitch, so the arrows are already spawned in. So let's see.
We'll
So
see.
here I'm following the first elephant, so as soon as the second one is off screen on Paxo's side,
Yeah, it's
I'm
okay.
gonna attack it.
Nice.
So the third elephant comes on screen, and we have the
We got the glitch where it stopped short, so I can't reach the leg. But
right side. You can't go.
no, can't go right.
So it was a little bit early there on my side probably. So now Pax can jump top. Don't worry, I'll get through Adventurer. Killing the elephant gives also stats, I think.
Yeah, they give about 2k, I think.
No. There's nothing to destroy. Ah, there were pools. Okay, didn't get through Adventure. Yeah, this is panel field done, and now we can actually go to Black Gate immediately.
Yes, because of what I said earlier with how the Eye of Sauron is set up. The Eye of Sauron is still looking over Osgiliath, whereas normally it would be looking over. I think it looks over the Black Gate at this point.
You've ran no levels early, I haven't.
Oh yeah, I haven't run no levels only for ages, but yeah. And then we hit the trigger, we're in the Black Gate, and the Black Gate has changed an awful lot. This used to be like 6-7 minute level. If it takes more than 3, we'll be disappointed.
Yeah. Nice. You want to just distract the troll and I go for it? Or you want to go over here as well? Okay.
No, I'll distract the troll.
Okay. So here's another out of bounds trigger. And hopefully the camera is cooperative, because I actually need to see where I'm jumping.
I'll come down this way then.
Yeah, I've come down a bit.
That's as far as I can go.
Yeah, that should be more than enough.
Cool.
So, like, I need to jump at a specific spot and land on the tightrope that's like underneath the map. Then I aim for a specific pixel and I hit the trigger that's actually under the map, which is most likely the only trigger under the map you're able to hit, because it's so close to actually being like reachable. You might want to come over as well, Paxo.
Okay.
It's your setup. Just do a V-sync launch, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that was it. I died.
So the troll can really mess with you. Should give you a launch. Yeah.
Yep, that should be enough.
So now we have two players over here, and Paxo has a different setup than I do. So hopefully we'll be able to hit it. Just hit it by saying that.
Yep. The moment I come over, you hit it.
Yeah. It's a really finicky trigger, but it's one of those skips that you feel when you're doing it. You know if it's gonna work or
absolutely.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, so
drop
even
out
though
for the
that
next
was
section.
Yeah. Even though that was a bit slow, we still probably saved about 3 to 4 minutes. And one last V-sync launch, just, you know.
Yeah, you don't have to do this V-sync launch, it's not a whole lot faster. But I struggle with this section and I find it really annoying. So, one point when I lost like a run to a stupid jump in this section, I was like, I'm not playing this anymore. I'm just gonna fly there.
Didn't you lose sub-hour to
I
it?
think my first sub-hour I lost to it, yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. And also, if you're wondering, verticord, I have the verticord sub 59, and it's sub 57 loadless, I think. But the main timing method in this game is with loads.
Yeah, real time.
Yeah, and this is no-cut, and so no-cut, like I said earlier, without cutscenes, and the verticord with cutscenes. Oh, I forgot to do something.
Yep.
Verticord with cutscenes, I want to say it's a 206?
203.
203, okay.
203 loadless, 205 real time.
And the strat I'm doing here with Frodo, actually not doing it just because I'm bored in this section, but it's actually fast to repeatedly die here, because it skips some phases with Gollum.
Yep, so by dying off the map, Gollum thinks that he's already jumped onto Frodo's back and been thrown off. So it means he stays kind of up my side of the platform, which makes it a lot quicker.
It's also worth noting, there is a trigger in this section, but as far as I can tell, there's like an invisible ceiling, so you can actually hit it. There's also no consistent way to launch it, same spot every time. So finding a setup for that would be pretty bad. And here's probably the final glitch or exploit that Pax is gonna do. So you're supposed to jump up the hang bar and Frodo has to build something, but turns out because the last point, like the respawn point, was still on top when Pax just like falls into the lava, he actually respawns on top. And time's coming up after this auto-scroller.
Yeah. Now is a good time to say our current co-op world record in real time is 1 hour, 4 minutes and 34 seconds.
Ooh.
So
I have a timer running and the timer just hit 1 hour, 4 minutes. So this might be another world record.
ooh, it's gonna be close.
How many seconds say again?
34.
34. Ah, this is another co-op world record. Let's see, and
Time.
107, 104.17. So
Nice.
yes,
17-second world record.
this
Let's
17-second world record.
What was the in-game time?
I didn't have the in-game timer running.
Okay.
So yeah, if anybody's interested in this category or this game, hit us up. Like most of the guys probably are already in the LEGO Speedrun Discord. If not, join the LEGO Speedrun Discord, ask questions.